Hey YouTube, how's it going? Oh, I'm so excited, so I haven't made a YouTube video in a little while because, firstly, as you saw in my last video, I was very depressed. Maybe I'll start there. So, I felt quite depressed in my last video, and someone left a comment on the last video saying, like, I used to watch your videos, but because I used to have depression in the past, I stopped watching them because I found it quite depressing. And I thought, oh God, like, because, so it's always been really great if I make a YouTube video about depression and to have people with depression say, oh, it's really useful to hear you talk about this kind of stuff. So I've always wanted to sort of help. And I do refer to YouTube when I do get down, because quite often there's a lot of really nice supportive people around. But it was a bit of a wake-up call with someone saying, you know, I used to have depression and I find it a bit triggering listening to you. And it's kind of like, yeah, I mean, come on, we've all got our shit we're all trying to overcome, right? Maybe just sort of tone down the depressed YouTube videos. I'm so excited. The other reason I haven't made any YouTube videos is because I didn't really know about my plans. So for a while there, I started this new job. I was getting paid more than I've ever got paid or even dreamed of getting paid, like, in my life. And I thought that I was going to last it out there, and I started having making all these plans like, oh, I'm going to work for 2 years and I'm going to buy a flat in London and I'm going to rent it out on a buy-to-let basis and I'm going to let some other mug pay off my my mortgage before I go travelling. And I really thought, you know, I'd work 2 years in this job and then I'd go. But it's been really miserable in the job and they don't like me very much, and I sense that I'm about to get sacked anyway. So now I just am like definitely going travelling like any day now. I'm so excited. I went today to make a vaccination appointment at the doctor. Shit, if you ever want to really shit yourself up, read about Southeast Asian bloody vaccines, like the diseases you can get in Southeast Asia. But I am so excited now. I'm so excited. Like, I go every day and I just know, like, I'm going to quit before you fuckers sack me, and I'm going to smash the shit out of this. I'm so excited. So the plan sort of changed, because before I was going to go to India and Nepal and then make my way over, but this time of year India's not great. Obviously it has very varying climates because it's a huge place, but it's generally not a very good time to travel in India. So I thought I'd go to Thailand. And I've been talking about doing I don't know if this is called, I've become such a travel bore, that's the other thing. Like, I don't really, I can't talk about anything apart from travel. I've become really boring. So it's great if you're really into travelling or you can't wait to go travelling, like I'm the person to talk to. We can get down discussing like the various desirable features of backpacks and shit. But if you're not going travelling anytime soon, I am just the most boring, I'm probably a bit boring anyway, but the most boring person to speak to. But I'm so excited. Finally, I'm so excited. I am shitting myself, don't get me wrong, because, you know, when I made all these plans, if you're watching, like, I was going with this nice Irish guy who was like a 6'3" rugby player, and it felt a lot more like easy and safe to make plans about going travelling. But now, like, I'm going on my own because the guy dumped me, and now I'm sort of shitting myself because going on your own, but I'm not going to fucking let that stop me. Like, shit, if I've ever been bloody anything, it's like, so I just don't, I fully recognise dangers, like, if you get a horrible fever illness and you're a long way from hospital, you've got to get yourself to help. And just the risks are a bit higher being a female traveller, but I'm not going to let that stop me because I never have in the past, because I need to do this for myself, and because I know that I'm going to find such a sense of independence and confidence through going and doing this on my own, that I would never have got from going with someone. And even when I was with him and I knew that I'd be going travelling with him, I always knew in a way that I was going to be slightly stifled by having someone so close to home, close to me all the time. Whereas this way, I'm totally free to go to a hostel, make friends with a load of people I don't know, change my plans at the last minute and all that sort of thing. So I'm super excited. And I'm excited as well to be doing it without the 2 years working, because in 2 years I'd be coming up on 30, and now I'm sort of 27, a sort of thing. I'm still within like crazy irresponsible backpacker age. So I'm going to do a course called a CELTA, which is a Cambridge English language teaching course, so that I can teach English abroad. And I was going to do it in London as an intensive course, but then I found out you could do it in Thailand, in Bangkok, for £200 cheaper, including rent of a studio flat in a building with like a swimming pool and a gym and like 2 lagoon swimming pools and stuff. I just thought, shit, if I can save myself 200 quid and I get to live in Bangkok for a month, that's not even like a decision. So I'm super excited. You can shut yourself up reading about diseases and travel warnings and things. But I honestly feel at the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of my heart even, that if I didn't do it, I'd regret it for the rest of my life. And I know this is morbid, but I feel like it's quite freeing as well. Like, I honestly feel like if I go off and I die doing this, I'll be glad I did it, because I would rather go off and die now than die in 40 years' time thinking I didn't do it. And besides, you know, like, you can shut yourself up, but, like, you know, lots of people go and do this every year and it's not a thing. I'm quite excited because I know, I mean, everyone around me so the Polish moving to London, incredible thing. I have to say, the massive Polish immigration to London. I'm not so keen on like their meats, so all of our local shops now have like crazy sausage meats and stuff that you just don't want to eat. It looks like horrible stuff. But the I've had a bit of beer. Proliferation of cheap beer. I recommend this one. It's nice, it's sort of crisp. But there's a whole variety of cheap beers in my local shops now that are really good. I recommend them. I'm very much looking forward to doing a tour of Southeast Asia and trying all the local beers. Although I am going to try and resist buying a tourist backpacky sort of t-shirt of each type of beer, because apparently that's like how you spot a backpacker a mile away. I'm quite excited. I'm very excited. I'm very excited. I live travel right now. Like, I wake up sometimes I wake up at 5:30 in the morning on a work day, like, I'm just wide awake thinking about going travelling. Like, I am shitting myself. And you know, like, you sort of, when you know that you're going to be going away for a long time, the little things you appreciate a lot more, like having your family and friends nearby and that sort of thing. And I'm not going to lie, have I said I'm not going to lie yet? I think I might have used that phrase already. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit nervous about being out there on my own, because I do so badly on my own in Britain. But if I live with my mum at the moment and I see my friends like once or twice a week and I already feel so lonely, you might as well be feeling lonely in a nice tropical country, you know? You know, I'm going to just play it by ear, you know, and if I get out there and I start feeling a bit overwhelmed, I'll just head to the nearest Thai beach for like 2 weeks. You know, I'll just give myself a holiday. So I'm going to take it easy and bear in mind that I am travelling with, you know, depression and whatever. But in terms of seasonal affective disorder, Thailand is so the place to go. Like, this is the place so what I'm really hoping is I'm going to go out there, I'm going to learn to teach English as a foreign language. I'm going to teach some classes and I'm going to just love it. And I'm just going to be able to move there. And then my friends and family can come out and see me once a year in a nice tropical country. That's what I'm hoping. Yeah, so I don't have anything to report apart from travelling excitement, actually. Haven't really done anything. Yeah. But no, I wanted to apologise if you're like someone with depression, you found my videos depressing. I find that quite upsetting, because the last thing I want to do is spread more depression in the world. I wouldn't say that I always come on in like a selfless way to try and make people with depression feel better, or like provide a good role model or anything like that. Like, I sometimes have done, but I really more come on because I just feel really lonely. So I'm excited about building up my YouTube network a bit more. I still get, like, incredible, isn't it, that I haven't been making regular videos since, like, probably uni, like 2011, maybe a bit later. But I still get a ton of people watching my videos, still get like 500 views within 2 days. Sort of incredible. It makes me feel a bit like self-conscious because I look like shit, and I couldn't even really be bothered to like get done up or anything. I can't be arsed. And it shouldn't really matter what I look like anyway, should it? But I love the internet. The more that I go on with this complete inability to make new friendships in real life, the more I love the internet, because over time I've known people for like 4 or 5 years. They come up to London, they visit me. I met a guy, he used to be the Tempest Fugitive on YouTube, total legend, and he came up, his friends were coming to see a gig in London, so he lives in Wales, and he got in the car for like 3.5 hours to come and just go for a couple of drinks with me. It was such a nice thing to do, because when you've been speaking to someone for 4 years on the internet, there's always that thing in the back of your mind, like, yeah, but would we really get on in real life? We've never actually really met. But I find actually that almost everyone that I've ever got on well with online, I get on well with in real life. So thank fucking God for YouTube, because otherwise, like, I'd have like a third of the number of friends that I do. And if you're like hanging around in London, or you're near London, and like you want, like, send me a PM or something. Oh, sorry to anyone that sent me a PM. I haven't responded to them in a while. So I am babbling. I just wanted to check in and just say, like, I'm feeling a lot happier knowing that I'm actually not going to be here for a long time anymore. I'm actually going, like, I got bogged down in the depressed bullshit. But I think what I really need is just a bit of excitement, some good weather, for life to change around me. Because I've sort of done a lot of thinking recently about what I really want from my life, and I'm not bothered about, like, a career. Well, obviously you need to be sort of, you know, earn enough money to make yourself comfortable, but I'm really not, I don't have any burning desire to have any sort of career apart from to be a novelist. And what better way to become a novelist than move to a country where your money goes a lot further and you can spend 6 months with no plans, you know. So I totally plan to build up I sort of have a blog. I only have one post on the blog, but if you'd like to be my first ever comment on my blog, I would love that, because no one's fucking commented on it. So yeah, boundlessskies.co.uk. That's boundless skies, like the sky.co.uk. That'll probably end up being a travel blog, but I'd really like to build that up a little bit, because I see it as a sort of way to get into writing. But ultimately, I don't want to write a blog. Ultimately, I'll be a journalist. Ultimately, what I want to do is write novels. And I really feel like there's always been too much going on, and that living with my mum stifles my creativity. And that if I just get out there and have a bit of time on my hands, then I'm going to sort of set up, you know, to do 2-3 hours writing every day and get into the habit of it. And teaching English should be quite good. There's, you know, you tend to work, it depends on the job, but you just tend to work maybe 30 hours a week, so it should give me a bit more time to do stuff like that. And I've been saving money, busily saving money. I've got about £5,000 saved. It's not as fast as I wanted it to be, or as much as I wanted, so I wanted to go with like 10,000, because then I'd have a massive pillow and I'd be able to travel for like a year without, you know, making any money. But because my job's apparently about to come to an end sometime soon, sort of think I need to just go and do it and work it out when I get there. And, you know, the worst comes to the worst, I end up getting a flight home. You know, I'm sure my mum will put me up for a couple of months while I look for a shitty job in London. But oh my God, I'd really hate to have to come back and come back with my tail between my legs. So I'm very, 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 very excited about the prospect of travelling. Like, everything I read is about travelling. I read novels about travelling, or I read guidebooks about travelling, or I read blogs about travelling, or I write in my book, in my little notebook, about travelling. I have spent more hours than I wish to admit to researching backpacks. So, oh my God, like, there are some really trekky backpackers out there, like, big time. There are a lot of travel blogs about, like, equipment that you need to take, packing lists. It reminds me a little bit of when I went through a brief phase a few years ago of, like, survivalism. And I got quite into, like, the idea of bug out bags and stuff. It didn't last for very long, but it coincided with when I was living in America, so I think it might be a uniquely American cultural thing. But I'm still really into the idea of, like, wilderness survival and going out and doing, like, wilderness survival camping and things. But Southeast Asia is not really big for camping, but it will be good for jungle trekking. And I'm going to go to, like, the rainforest in Sumatra and see orangutans and all that sort of good shit, and I just can't wait. But even just the idea of, like, living in Bangkok for a month doing a course is, like, super, super exciting. I've been researching travel vaccinations today. It's all really scary shit. It's all, like, about 100 different injections I need to get. It's not nearly that many, but it feels like that many. I'm not big on needles. No, I don't think anyone's a fan of needles. I'm not, like, super phobic, like, I can't have injections, but I get quite nervous about them. But it's so much more worth it than getting any horrible diseases. Dengue fever is a big fear, because you can't vaccinate against dengue fever. So, and tick-borne encephalitis, because I'm not going to get that one. I'm not going to get that vaccination, because only China really needs it. I'm super excited, and I would really like to build up my YouTube network, because I'd like to think that I can go to the other side of the world and I can take you guys with me. you know, that I can still have some people that I recognise commenting on my videos, or just even just reach out to strangers and get some comments and sort of have a bit of company, because everything I read about solo backpacking is says that, you know, it's not difficult to make friends, and that, you know, tourists, like white people, you know, backpackers, they tend to gravitate towards each other in foreign countries, and expat communities and that sort of thing. Like, it shouldn't be that hard, but it's not my natural. I'm not very good at like reaching out, and so but I also think that necessity will cause me to do that, and so I think this is the best way to learn independence, to learn to not be emotionally what's the word? It's not interdependent. What's it called? That codependent. To stop being so codependent. You know, if you've watched my videos for longer than about 5 minutes, you know that I've spent my whole 20s basically getting into relationships with people that then break up with me because I'm too like clingy or involved or too full on or whatever. And so this is a perfect way to go about finding a way to exist which isn't that. But also in a nice, hopefully sort of more calm setting. Like, I can do beach stuff, and I can do yoga retreats, and I can do, you know, the easier stuff. It doesn't have to be really like full on. I will go to a full moon party, but I'm not really I'm past the age where I would have really enjoyed like raves or any of the more sort of dangerous situations. Like, I'm not even really a nightclubby sort of a person. So, and I figure like solo female travellers, it's called, will involve more sort of going out earlier in the morning and getting in before dark mostly, unless you're sort of meeting up with people that you've met along the way to go clubbing, that sort of stuff. I probably wouldn't like go out clubbing on my own or anything. But I'm just really excited about a bit of a change of scene, and getting the fuck away from my job. You know, and my mum is quite... So I love my mum. She's like done everything for me, and she's not like one of those mums that like does my laundry for me or cooks me dinner or anything like that. I'm pretty much an independent adult living at home with my mum, paying a reduced rent compared to what I would pay out in London. But so it's not like that. It's not like it's getting away from the apron strings or anything. But she's quite, although she really is quite she's sensible. She senses shit on my dream. We had a talk the other day, and within the space of about 10 minutes, she told me if I was going to write a novel, I would have done it by now. I probably won't like travelling because it'd be really dirty and exhausting. And, you know, that there's no point in buying a flat to rent out in London because, this is before I knew I was going to get sacked from my job, because the rent will just get swallowed up by like the mortgage payments and the agent, which was sort of the point, because I was getting the rent, like getting the flat to pay itself off through the mortgage payments using the rent. But so, and you know, throughout my life, I've always said my mum's never wrong. And actually, sort of scarily, she's not really wrong very often. Like, when my mum gives me a piece of advice, I tend to take it because it's good advice usually. But I think it's getting to the time where, like, for me to, because I get scared about the idea of not being around my mum. Like, I think I've become to be, the older you get, the harder it actually gets to move out. I think, well, I moved out when I was 16, I was all like, yeah, I can do this shit on my own. Like, when I went off to university, I was quite bold about it. But I think the longer you live at home, the harder it gets to move out. The more you start to feel undermined by it, and the more you start to feel like, maybe I can't do this on my own, otherwise I would have done it by now. Why haven't I moved out by now? And so the reason I haven't moved out by now is because I've had about 5 jobs in a row where I've been on probation periods, and I just feel really nervous about moving out when I know that I don't have necessarily, when they can give me 2 weeks notice, like that I'm fired. So that's always been the thing, is I got promoted so many times that I always ended up in probation periods, and I just always wanted to get through the probation period before I moved out. But now now I don't think I'm going to make it through this probation period. I'm not going to hang around and try and save up the rent. I'm just going to do it. And I really think just fucking off to the other side of the world completely on my own, although it will be a baptism of fire, will inevitably teach me independence and social skills, because I will need them. And if I don't, I come home, I get a shitty office job, and I die, you know, in my little cubicle, you know. So that's the other thing, is what's been so nice about backpacking or planning to backpack at this age compared to when you're younger, is when you just like graduate from uni and go backpacking for a year, everyone does it with the idea that like they'll just go backpacking for a year and they'll come back and they'll get a proper job. Whereas if you've actually spent 7-8 years getting a proper job, you realise that it's sort of spiritually bereft. And especially so that it won't make you happy. Success won't make you happy. So as I say, I get paid quite well now. It's quite a secure job. It's with the civil service. I get like 32 days annual leave per year and 18% pension and all these things. So if it was going to be satisfying to me, it would be satisfying to me now. But also I've just been a PA for like 3 years. So you're working with people that earn 200,000 a year. And they're not happy either. Like, they have miserable lives. They get paid really well. They go on 3 nice holidays a year and they live in big houses and they drive nice cars. But they're not any happier than any of us. They're not. They're possibly less stressed about money than we are, but they're not any more spiritually fulfilled than we are. And so I realised that the important thing in life is not... It is, of course, to be financially comfortable, but it's not, you know, it's to make rent, but to live in a way which is spiritually fulfilling. It's really not to seek necessarily career success, although if that is what floats your boat, I'm not at all judging you. Go wild. So I won't ramble for too much longer. I just wanted to check in because I'm feeling a lot more upbeat, and I wanted to, and you know, and that's the other nice thing about, I'm talking again. That's the other nice thing about the idea of solo travel is it doesn't fucking matter what I look like. So there were these younger women on Facebook the other day, and she's a girl a woman I really admire. In terms of like she wasn't really political at all, and then my friend, who was another guy off of YouTube that I know, thank God for YouTube, because where else would my social life come from? He went out with her for a while, and he sort of introduced her to feminism, and now she's quite a sweet little sort of feminist ranter. But she was ranting on YouTube the other day. She's quite an attractive young lady, and she was ranting on YouTube about how every time she leaves every day she leaves the house and men are hitting on her, and it's so sexist and all of this. And it was so sweet because I remembered, like, I think back to when that used to be me, and I still 100% believe in the feminist run, like. You know, it is a horrible thing for a young woman to not be able to, like, because all you are is young and attractive, you can't help it, and you're leaving the house and, like, people are hitting on you everywhere, and you end up feeling like a sexual agent all the time. And sometimes it's important, really important, especially for women, to be an independent, autonomous person, so everything doesn't depend on the men that are gazing on you and the men that find you attractive. I think it's really important for the development of women's personalities to have that. But I did feel a bit jealous, I have to admit. Now I think, oh shit, I'm like, you know, 27 and like not nearly as, if I ever was hot, not nearly as hot as I ever was. And now I leave the house. I haven't been hit on in about, I mean, I got dumped 4 months ago. I haven't had anyone hit on me in that time. And I sort of think, shit, maybe I should have enjoyed it a little bit more. But then, no, there were some really dodgy, horrible guys that used to hit on me, so I know that the feminist run was right. But I did think, I almost found myself saying, enjoy it while it lasts. I could probably put a lot more effort into my appearance and get a bit more of that sort of attention, but I'm not interested, because if I'm going to be with anyone again, I want it to be with someone that cares about me as a person. It shouldn't matter very much what I look like. But it does occur to me that it could be of a benefit to go through random countries as a female backpacker on your own and not be like really a tempting 21-year-old, because that can be a real problem for solo female backpackers. So in a way it could be a bit of a blessing. I still hope to get laid from time to time, Jesus, but that can't be that difficult in a backpacker scene, can it? Find a one-night stand or something. I'm excited. I'm very excited. Oh my God, I found myself lying in bed at night like 1 PM, like just can't sleep. No, I need to go to work the next day. You know, I like find it very difficult to concentrate on work and not just go to like websites about travelling, and everything I think about now is just travelling. I'm so excited. Yeah, I think I've made my point. So how are you doing? Blah, blah. I'm really not drunk. This is my second Polish beer. What are they? They're like 8% or something. They're probably quite a lot of percent. You've got to love the Polish. 6%. Yeah, I can't be pissed. I haven't had dinner, but I'm on my second. I've got half a beer left. I've had a can and a half of 6% beer. it occurs to me I'm going to have to be a bit careful about drinking because I'm a bit bad. Like once I start drinking, I don't really like to stop drinking. So I'm going to probably have a bit of embargo on spirits while I'm travelling because it's not safe to be like travelling on your own and be really pissed. And every time I get really pissed, I lose a cash card or my keys or something, and that's fine when I can like knock on the door to get my mum to let me in, or you know, order a replacement card really easily. But that's not fine when it's your fucking passport, it's your only credit card or whatever. So I'm gonna just be quite careful about drinking and definitely not drugs. Like, because I smoke weed with my friend quite regularly. I'm probably going to be careful about smoking weed, not least because you can get a jail term for being found in possession of weed in some Southeast Asian countries. The idea of like, I mean, you can get the death penalty for drugs, like trafficking heroin and shit. So you're not even going to fuck with drugs in a country where you can get the death penalty. So I'm just going to have an embargo on drugs entirely, and probably spirits as well. Just like have a beer or two now and then, you know, to enjoy myself, but not. I'm probably just going to go quite easy on the alcohol, which will also help me stay within budget. I'm super excited. If you have stories of like amazing gap year adventures or, you know, backpacking through Southeast Asia, please do let me hear them because I'm very, very excited, and it will feed the fire of my enthusiasm. So I hope you're well, YouTube. Feeling much better, and if little depressed disclaimer, like if you're someone that watches my channel because of all the depressed videos, please embrace the misery, because it was like I spent years feeling miserable, but it was like hitting rock bottom really. It was getting dumped yet again, feeling really bad, thinking I'm 27, life's getting away from me and I'm not doing anything about it. That made me start making really wild plans, and I really think sometimes, not always, like if you're actively like dangerously depressed, this advice isn't for you. But if you're suffering from a general malaise and it's been going on for years, I really recommend taking a big risk, making a big lifestyle change. Because even just looking forward to it has made me feel better, and I know that it's just going to be incredible. Lonely sometimes, yes. Possibly even dangerous sometimes, yes, but who gives a shit if it means that I don't feel like killing myself, you know? If I feel like life is worth living during the highs and I can deal with the lows, then that's better than fucking comfort. Give me an exciting life over a comfortable one any day. The minute you get comfortable is the minute you're fucked as a depressed person, because that malaise just creeps back in. So consider a big lifestyle change. And shit, you can come visit me in Thailand or wherever if you fancy it. I'll be looking to make connections with people. So yeah, I have just waffled at you for the last, I don't even want to guess because I always guess way below, like maybe 15 minutes. But I hope you're well, and it's always nice to speak to YouTube, and I'm going to do a lot more of it, especially when I don't have to wait for an empty house to do it. So yeah, hope you're well.